the SAM ICT indicator, which is available for various platforms on the TradingFinder website. From this section, you can access the indicator on the TradingView website. Additionally, traders can read this page to learn about how the indicator works and its functionality. To access the indicator on the TradingView website, search for the indicator's name in the Indicators section and select the desired indicator from there. For quicker and easier access to this indicator, add it to your TradingView indicators by enabling the Add to Favorites option. Once the indicator is applied to the chart, it begins to identify the Sun model setup, which is a special feature of the ICT style, on the price chart. This setup is a specialized trading strategy based on market structure and liquidity, and it is implemented across multiple timeframes. First, the indicator identifies a liquidity level on the 1-hour timeframe, which we can see here. After that, it looks for a market structure shift, MS, on the price chart, which serves as a confirmation for a potential trend reversal. In this example, we can see that the price has moved upward, a liquidity sweep has occurred, and after that, the price moved downward, with the MSS happening at this level. After that, we look to identify an FBG zone on the 30-second time frame. However, since most traders do not have access to the 30-second time frame, we can switch to the 1-minute or 5-minute time frames and look for an FBG zone within these ranges in the trend. After the price returns to this zone, we can enter a buy or sell trade in the market. In this section, after breaking the MSS level, the price moves upward and collects all the liquidity present in this area with a very large wick, and then enters a strong downward trend. For a much better and more comprehensive understanding, I will, for example, now switch to the 1-hour time frame, where the entire and complete zone is displayed much more fully and clearly for us to observe and analyze. In this 1-hour section, there was liquidity, which was swept as the price moved upward, and after that, it started to drop. Here, the MSS has been broken, and in this part, an FBG zone has also formed. After the FBG zone is formed and identified, we wait for the price to return to this zone at this point, and when the price reaches the FBG zone, we can enter a sell trade, placing our stop loss behind the FBG zone. Here, as the price moves upward, the best entry point for our trade can be the 50% level of the FBG zone, which is indicated for us in this section. Our stop loss is placed behind the FBG zone, and we can easily enter a sell trade in the market, which is likely to move toward our lower trend targets. In the settings section, under inputs, there are options available for us. The first option is for setting the time frame for swing identification, which is set to 50 by default. The higher we set this value, the swings it identifies will be based on longer periods, and the lower we set it, the swings it identifies will be based on shorter periods. In the next section, we can set the method for reviewing swings in the chart's history, which has 2 modes here. The first mode is called All, which is the default option, and the second mode is Custom. By selecting the All option, it reviews all past swings, and by choosing the Custom option, we can set the number of swings to be reviewed in the section below, which is set to 100 swings by default. In the next 2 sections, we can set the validity period for the FBG zone and the validity period for the MSS level. By default, the validity period for the FBG zone is set to 120 candles. This means that if the price does not reach this zone within 120 candles, the FBG zone will be considered invalid. By default, the validity period for the MSS level is set to 80 candles, and if the price does not reach this level or fails to break the MSS level, this level will be considered invalid. In the next section, there are settings for identifying the FBG zone, where we can enable or disable a filter for detecting the FBG zone. If we enable this option, in this section we can choose from 4 modes for identifying the FBG zone: very aggressive, aggressive, defensive, and very defensive. By selecting the very aggressive option for identifying a bullish FBG, the highest price of the last candle must be higher than the middle candle, and for a bearish FBG, the lowest price of the last candle must be lower than the middle candle. Enabling this option applies the least strict criteria for identifying FBGs, and as you move down from this level, stricter criteria are applied for FBG identification. By selecting the aggressive mode, in addition to the conditions of the first option, it also ensures that the middle candle is not excessively small. By selecting the third mode, which is called defensive, and is the default mode of the FBG filter, it examines the structure and size of the middle candle, which must have a significant body, and it considers specific conditions regarding whether it is bullish or bearish. And the last option is considered the strictest mode for identifying the FBG zone. It checks to ensure that the first and third candles do not have very small bodies or are not dojis, resulting in higher quality signals. The further you move from the first filter at the top towards the fourth filter, the stricter it becomes in identifying the FBG zone. As a result, the number of FBG zones it identifies decreases, but their quality and price reaction increase. In the next section, there is the FBG Mitigation Level option, which also includes 3 modes: proximal, 50% OB, and distal. If we select the proximal mode, it considers the closest level of the FBG zone to the price, and once the price reaches this level, it marks the FBG zone as consumed. If we choose the 50% OB mode, it takes the 50% level of the FBG zone into account, and when the price reaches the 50% level of the FBG zone, it marks this zone as consumed. And if we select the distal mode, it considers the farthest level of the FBG zone from the price, and when the price reaches the distal level, it marks the FBG zone as consumed. By choosing the last mode, the price must consume the entire FBG zone, and after that, the zone will no longer extend and will be considered consumed. In the next section, there are options for alert settings, where in the first option, we can choose a name for the alert. In the second option, we can select a message for the frequency, which has 3 modes: all, once per bar, and per bar close. By selecting the all option, it will send us an alert in all situations. By selecting the once per bar option, the alert will be sent while the candle is still open and has not closed yet. And by selecting the third option, the alert will be triggered for us when the candle closes. In the next option, we can set the alert time based on our desired UTC time zone in this section. In the following options, we can have it send us an alert if the demand or supply zones are mitigated, or we can disable these options. In the next sections, there are options to show or hide the FBG demand zones and FBG supply zones. And in the section opposite, we can select our preferred color for each FBG zone and change the colors as we wish. In the final section, there are settings to show or hide all the timeframe levels, where at the bottom we can enable or disable each status. Here we can enable or disable the HTF level statuses, and in this section we can also enable or disable the low HTF level. Additionally, in the sections opposite, we can change the color of the names and the color of the lines to any color we like. In the next option, we can enable or disable all MSS levels to choose whether they are displayed for us or not. And in the lower section, we can individually customize the display status of the MSS high and MSS low levels, enabling or disabling them as we wish, and also change the color of the names and the color of the lines to any color we like. In the very last available option, there is the inputs in sets line option, which, when it is enabled, meticulously displays all the pertinent and relevant information for us within this specific section. Conversely, if we choose to disable this particular option, all the detailed information will be completely hidden from view, and only the concise name of the indicator will be prominently shown instead. Well, my dear friends, we have now truly reached the very end of this comprehensive tutorial for this particular indicator. We would be absolutely delighted and genuinely happy if you could kindly share your valuable comments and insightful suggestions with us in the dedicated comment section below.